everybody. Welcome back to another episode of PODMAS of God Built This Podcast. I'm your host, Maxine, and we're on episode 10. Woo! Here we are. 2 more episodes to go. And I'm just letting you guys know in advance, there will not be a new episode next week. So I will take that week off. That will be my break. And the next episode, continuing the regular podcast, God Built This Podcast, will start January, the first Tuesday of January. So that's January 5th. So 2 more episodes until we're done with PODMAS. And again, next week, there will not be a new episode of God Built This Podcast. We will resume with the regular podcast on January 5th for the new year, 2021. Thinking about the new year, I don't know about y'all. I know we like to clown setting goals and setting resolutions and setting any new path and new intentions for the new year. People like to say, oh, well, you should have been starting that, right now. Why can't you start it right now? If you were really serious, you would have started right now. Or you're going to fall short. You're going to fall off of this goal, of this intention. The first 2 weeks, or come February, all of the intentions, all the goals you had for the new year is gone out the window. And I do understand, because we do like to talk a good talk. A lot of us do like to talk a good talk, trust and believe. But I've been realizing with me, I've been making goals throughout the year, whether it's small personal goals or professional goals, academic goals, or just goals for my life. I've been making them. I've been just mapping out just small goals or big goals that I would like to conquer. And I've been doing that in the pace that works for me. And I'm going to continue doing that. And I feel like with the new year, it just gives me such a good energy, a good feel, that I want to continue that into the new year and add more into my own personal development. So that being said, I talk about throughout this podcast, throughout the history of the podcast, you guys learn that I've been in situations and relationships with people where it's unrequited love situation. And what I mean by unrequited is when the love is not reciprocated, when I am putting more of the energy into it than I'm receiving, when I am putting more care and feeling and intention into the relationship with said person, it is never felt in return. I don't feel that same energy in return. I feel a lapse. I feel a disconnect. And going into the new year, and even starting now, because I've been doing the work a little bit now, and I'm going to continue with the work full force into the new year, is to not engage in any love type, like type situation with people where it's unrequited. I encourage you all to come on this journey with me. Sometimes we get into situations with people and then we think, oh, eventually this person will like me the same amount that I like them. Eventually this person will respect me and call me and make time for me and date me and take me out and just put energy into what the dynamic is between you and said person. But you see a pattern of it still not being reciprocated. You see a pattern of inconsistency. You see a pattern of just last thought resort when it comes to you and when it comes to me. And I want to continue to grow in my communication and in my expectation when it comes to my relationship in a romantic setting with people, and even in friendship. This applies to friendship, and I'll talk a little bit more about that too, and maybe more about it on another episode. But specifically when it comes to unrequited love in romantic relationships, there is just this depletedness you feel, and there's this feeling of being taken advantage of being used, of being manipulated and gaslighted, because you think, okay, this time this person said, oh, they're going to put more effort in. This person said it's different this time. I got, my options are cleared out. I want to focus on you. And you foolishly, and I would say foolishly, and I'm not saying foolishly hasn't like to down myself or even anyone else who's going through or has gone through an unrequited love situation, because a duck is a duck is a duck is a duck. Like it's foolish to believe someone who has shown you who they are. It is foolish. So I'm not saying this to make you feel dumb or make myself feel dumb and I'm so stupid for believing this was wrong with me. That's what, like, I'm not here for that type of talk. So I'm not saying it in that tone. I'm just saying foolish is foolish is foolish is foolish. And it's foolish of me to believe that the person could show me something different when they've been showing me who they were from the beginning, from the next day to the next month to the next year. It's been consistent. Like I could count on your consistency, I could count on your inconsistency. And what I realize is when we are in unrequited situations with people, what the best thing that we could do is just leave. We could just go. Like, it doesn't even have to be a conversation anymore. It doesn't even have to be you see what you did? This is another example of you not giving me the same energy back. I could just leave. Like, it doesn't even have to be anything else but me leaving and moving on and moving forward. And that's what I realized. Oh, it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be this complicated thing. It doesn't have to be this weird thing. I'm just going to go. And I also recognize that everyone, and this is me speaking more from just this holistic point of view. I like to see people and recognize, people are just where they are in their journey of life. And they may not be able to give you what you want from them. And that's fine. Like, I also don't feel like we need to, because I've grown into understanding that there's no purpose in me bashing someone and saying, this person is an ain't shit nigga. And yes, of course, there are plenty of ain't shit niggas out there, men and women included. That doesn't mean that they are excused from their behavior and their poor rhetoric towards you. But I also could understand that the way that people are positioned in their lives, their upbringings, their mindset, just their personality as well, their history of actions, it's foolish of me to expect anything different. Like, of course you're going to be a flake. Of course you're going to say one thing and then completely show me your ass the next day. Like, you've only shown me that consistently. And so I am making the active choice to be done with unrequited love type situations with folks. I think about the history of my relationships, my romantic relationships, and I find this to be a trend that I've been dealing with, where I think about Boston Bay, for example. Just like an obvious example of someone who I would give more effort into, and then he would suddenly disappear, or he would belittle me and not care to put in effort, or just whatever, right? So that's an obvious situation. I think about Church Bay, and then I think about, okay, we were on the same page at one point, but then I realized, okay, we're not. And then when I gave myself permission to go there emotionally and be vulnerable, that is when he shows me his ass and say, he's not ready for love right now. He's not in a position to love. He doesn't know what love is. He doesn't know how to love and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, you're whack, right? You could still be whack, and I could still understand that you're just not in a position in your life right now to love. Like, it could be both and. And I'm okay with that. And what I could do is, like, there's no point in trying to change somebody. Just go. So then I left that alone. Now I think about LL Bay and how we have a year history of just kind of like doing this dance. Like we'll do this, I'm thinking about Missy Elliott. I'm and she's moving in the garbage bag and she's like bouncing and like she's like doing this and that. It reminds me of the Little Kim dance where she's kind of dodging shit like, okay, we're here, okay, like that's how me and LL Bay are, where, okay, I think we're gonna go this move. Oh no, she's going left. Okay, I'm gonna go right. Wait, I think she's going right. No, she's going left. It's I hope, please get the visual and watch Super Duper Fly by Missy Elliott, and also watch Little Kim dance moves where she's just like dodging shit. It's hilarious. But that is the symbol that I am showing as just an example of how me and LL Bay are when it comes to our dynamic. And I don't want to dance. I don't want to dance. Can I just walk straight? I'm not trying to dance with you. I'm not trying to like figure out this move that you're going to make next and go with you. I'm just going to walk away. I'm just going to go. She was telling me how she's just like taking care of her mental health now. There's something that she's working out. I don't know specifically exactly whatever it is, but I know she maybe not had the finest childhood, right? And with that comes understanding. With that comes compassion that I naturally give out to people. Since I've been growing more and just like really on my shit, I've been more compassionate, and I love that about myself. But sometimes when you're too compassionate, you realize that these motherfuckers would take advantage of your compassion and think you're a doormat. So she was telling me how, like, she's taking care of her mental health. She's doing whatever it is that she's doing to get her mind right, get her heart right. And now she will take more of the initiative to see me more outside of the context of how we are already seeing each other. So like if we see each other only Monday through Friday, she's gonna make an effort to see each other outside of that time, call me outside of that time, like make it more of an intentional thing. And I talked about this before, how like I really don't like when I like someone and I could only like you on Tuesday and Thursdays, but the other days of the week, we don't talk, we don't see each other, there's nothing going on. But Tuesdays and Thursdays, oh, the energy's right. It's like, it's Tuesday and I'm over that shit. Like, what the fuck? I want to like you Sunday, Thursday, Friday, and Monday. And like, I want it to be a consecutive day process. But with LL Bay, it's not like that. And so I was expressing that to her before, and she finally came around and said how she's been working on herself, and she's making more of an effort to just be more intentional about that. And of course it was all talk, right? Of course it was all talk. Like nothing happened. Nothing has changed. There was no conversation. There was no call. There was no, hey, what you doing Saturday? Hey, X, Y, and Z. And like with me, it's like, okay, the foolishness relies in me. Like, yeah, like someone could just have these fucked up ass behaviors and these fucked up ass patterns in their behaviors, right? But it's really me who's accepting it. And so I'm foolish for that. Like, yeah, you're whack for being this way. Yeah, you're whack for saying you're going to do something and not doing it. Yeah, you're whack for being a flake. Yeah, you're whack, for all these reasons, right? Right? But I'm whack for still being here. Like, that's me taking, like, I don't really care about the thing that you got going on because I can only control myself. We can only control ourselves. We can only realize, okay, look, I'm realizing that I'm accepting piss poor behavior and I'm putting myself in positions where I'm not being reciprocating. I'm not receiving that energy in return. So what I could do is just walk away. I've communicated. I've done the adult thing. Now I could just go. I could just go. So when she was, so like, and I remember when she was saying that, and you know how like I would talk about how it feels easier to just believe the lie than to realize, oh no, this is a damn lie. This is bullshit. And I remember saying that to her initially when she was telling me, and I was like, but you said this before, because she has said that before, how she'll make a little bit more intentions with us and X, Y, and Z. And I was like, so I referenced that, like, okay, but you said that before, but nothing has changed. And then she made a point that made me kind of have a glimmer of hope. She was like, well, now I'm working on my mental health. I'm working on myself. And it's like, okay, here comes that compassion in me that's trying to be more understanding and not be so quick to let people go after a mistake. We're all human beings. We all are flawed and we all make mistakes. But at some point you realize, girl, what? I don't want to do this anymore. I don't have to be in a situation where I'm not getting what I deserve. And so this goes back into yesterday's episode of PODMAS, where I talked about happiness and where I talked about making choices that are intentional and active. Like, we are actively deciding to be with someone or be in a situation. And this applies to anything, really. If you're in a workplace where you are not getting the respect that you deserve, you're not getting the recognition that you deserve, the pay is not to the level that you are expecting, or, whatever it is, you have the right and the choice to decide to leave. Like, you don't have to stay in something because, it's just something that you're used to. Oh, well, going the other way will be new to you and you're afraid. You could just go and see where God takes you when you make that other leap of faith. In life, I feel like we are constantly making leaps of faith. And if you're not, I feel like you're living life wrong. I know I shouldn't judge how we live life, right? But I feel like if you're just always in a comfortable position, whether it's in your relationships or in your work life, in your just personal development, like, we should always find areas to challenge ourselves and just be better and grow and stretch ourselves. And if we're just in this stagnant position, what is life worth living for if we're not growing, if we're not developing our senses and getting to learn more of ourselves in different situations and recognizing, I could conquer this and that, and I could move forward to this and that. So anyway, I say all this to say, you could go, like, we could go and go on to something else, someone else, anything else other than where you are right now that you are not happy in. So yeah, I was thinking about that, and the topic of unrequited love came up to me, and I'm just like, I need to actively work against this. I need to actively find actions that I could do for myself to prevent myself from being engaged in another unrequited love situation. And I feel like when we think about the bullshit that people tell us, it really just be bullshit. But like I said earlier, it's just so much easier to believe the bullshit than it is to leave it alone and go. You know how hard it is to just leave something alone? You just want to go with the flow. You want to just continue this cycle that's toxic, that's disrespectful, that's whatever it is, that's not conducive at all to your emotional well-being, but you want to just stay in it because it's comfortable, because it is something that you're used to, because you're familiar with it. And I refuse to live a life like that. And I'm just going to take more caution and take more action to not live like that in my relationships with people, specifically when it comes to romantic relationships. So unrequited love is not the goal for 2021, and it is not the goal for the rest of 2020. So I also think about Boston Bay and how when I send him that finale text of me telling him, no, I'm done with this. Like, period. Like, there's no other explanation that I need to give. There's no reasoning behind it that I need to also break down to you, because I've already said what I said many, many times with him. And I am just going to say it plain and clear so that you can't manipulate my words. You can't go around the bush and try to find a way to come through the door. No. I said I'm done. These are the words. I'm not going to say I'm so sorry, I'm done. I'm so sorry, this can't work out. I really wish it could. I'm not giving any leeway to people who can't meet me where I need to be met. And so, typically I would have given reasons behind it. I would have said, I wish you just was nice to me. I wish you would just be nice. Giving him things to do to show me that he could do them in this record of time, but then show me his full self, which is just being an asshole. So I remember when I said that to him, I was like, I'm done with this. Like, no, I'm done with this. And he said, no, you're not. Call me. Like, what are we doing? I'm like, here comes that dance again. Here comes that little Kim, Missy Elliott, me, I'm super duper fly dance. I just want to walk away. Let me walk away. And I'm going to walk away regardless of whether you let me or not. The point is, sometimes if you're not in a position right now to be strong enough to really walk away from something that is not healthy for you, it is easy to just fall back into the trap of, well, okay. I mean, he said he's sorry. She says she's sorry. She says she's understanding. They said they're gonna both get the help that they need. I can't stand niggas. Niggas with the, I'm gonna get the help that I need. Then go get it. What that gotta do with me and your way of showing me that you're better now? Go get it. Like, you could just go and get it. I remember Boston Bay said the same thing that LL Bay said. He was like, what he said? He was saying it was one of our many arguments, and me telling him, I don't appreciate the way you're talking to me. You need to find a better way to communicate to me. And I was very straightforward and specific and really professional in how I addressed him. And his response was, okay, you valid. I'm going to go get help. I'm going to get better. And that was it. And with me at the time, considering who he was and who he is, that was enough for me to see, okay, that's some growth, right? Because he's a hood nigga. Like, hood niggas aren't gonna articulate themselves the way that I'm articulating myself. Like, they're not gonna do that. They're gonna say, look, I'm gonna go see that lady. I'm gonna go get help. What is like, do you know what that looks like though? Do you know the areas that you may need help in? Do you recognize your flaws? Do you recognize you're flaky as fuck? Do you recognize you're inconsistent and you have this scary energy and you're someone who I don't feel comfortable with? Do you recognize all of this? No? So what are you getting help on? You're just saying this stuff to make me feel rest assured. Ciao. Okay, I could go on and on, but I'm just, keeping these PODMAS episodes light and sweet so that we could just process quickly and then move on to the next topic. The next topic may be the same topic if I feel led to, but all in all, I think with unrequited love. And another thing, let's talk about, look, this may be a longer episode. I may break it up, whatever. But the point is, this is like, I think about like situations when I've been the other woman, okay? And I talked about this, shit. Y'all, this is a whole new episode. Let me pause. Okay, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you guys for tuning in. And then we're gonna listen to the next part of this episode tomorrow, okay? So I'm gonna end it here. We're gonna talk some more about unrequited love and how that looks like in relationships and how you could fall more into that without even knowing. So be alert, be aware, okay? I'm done with this. Bye. See you guys tomorrow.